So this is game 5 of group stage. Royal never give up against C9, Clo9, RNG, um, Draven ban, sneaky play Draven, plays twice. I think it was fine. It was a good pick for them. Getting workout training for Alistar. RNG doesn't really care about top side that much. They pretty much are going to get or they want to get in their ideal world, something that they can play through. But the Alistar is a good start for them. By doing that, they kind of force you into picking either Zyra Rakan or taking the Kaisa. I think Zaya into Kaisa is okay and even somewhat good in the laning phase. And Zaya's scales really well also alongside the Kaisa, so you match that kind of. And definitely something they want. Oh, the Draven band is this one that is next to my camera. My camera is currently like not showing, which I mentioned earlier. So they banned Draven there. Yeah, taking Rakan, that's fine. Common move for most people. You would expect the first pick Saya, then C9 getting the Rakan, different order. Getting the Alistar first is kind of good because then you can choose between the Kaisa and Saya, and Uzi's pretty much comfortable on both sides of the matchup. So you're seeing the Nocturne and Seed Self bans, definitely two aggressive champions. I think junglers are really aggressive in the current meta. That's an Evelyn. If I recall correctly, Svenskeren was playing that a lot in spring, like at least in solo queue, and he pulled that off once in stage, but I think it was a loss. I think it was a loss against Clutch or something. I don't remember exactly the game, but I remember being really far behind and looking for flanks constantly. Um, it was when he got reworked, it was just reworked. I think. Um, Galio, Talia, and now Shen. Those are a lot of globals. If they looked in the Shen, having a lot of globals is really good. If you want to play through both, definitely really good. So really good for RNG. Jensen just gets the rise, which can be really good in the laning phase against the Galio, at least in the early stages of the game. The bad thing about picking Rice with the Evelyn already locked in is that Galio has a really easy way. Like he can get the MR item, the Abyssal Mask, I think. I don't know if it's that good still after the nerf, the range. But I think since Galio is melee, if I know that Q isn't melee, but the rest of the combo of Galio is melee basically. So if he can get Abyssal Mask, that would be really good just because of the stats that it gives you. Like having him more against double AP mid jungle and even Kaisa to some extent in Rakan, so it can be really efficient this game for the 2v2s and stuff. But yeah, we saw a couple of level 1s already now. I hope that in this game we see something really creative level 1 or yeah, we just see a chunk out of Sneaky there, forcing him to back something. Even then, like they're giving somewhat of an advantage to the bottom lane. So Sneaky's now very low. Well, not very low, but he's low. And yeah, both junglers doing reds. The thing here is that Karsa doesn't have leash, so basically Karsa soloing out the red. Um, I wonder. Okay, he got to level 2. Now he's invading. Um, Yeah, I figure because he had sweeper, so maybe looking for the level 2 gank. Talia isn't the best at level 2 ganks, but she can work sometimes. He went for the crab here, and I'm not sure what he's doing because he sweep, like looking for the level 2 gank or the invade, but then he did the craft, so maybe just efficiency. Is he going to go now for the invade? That's a thing. Yeah, he's going for it now, and I think that's fine. Like I mean, sweeping and then going in is definitely the safest option, and you're still going to go back to the river, right? So unless you want to do more than just the blue, you want to do the craft and then the blue. So really good to sweep so that the enemy team um, does not have that information, or at least you know if they're seeing you. Getting the ground 2 here. Is he going to get the ground? But yeah, the way he did things here, Karsa, oh, he lived. Oh, that that's good for him because you don't want to give doubles there, double buffs because you're already pushing bot and stuff. Basically, what Carson did is that he did camps as he was walking. That's really good. Whenever you can do like this camp and then walk, and then there's another camp that you can do, and then another one and another one. That's really good in jungle because it's so efficient. He did red, then craft, then blue, then ground. So that was really good for him. But he lost all top stage jungle camp. So Svenskeren is gonna have a sizable lead. He's gonna get his own wolves, and Karsash is going to be really far behind in that sense. But he tried to basically split the map to end up bottom, and this led to Licorice having an advantage up because Svenskeren was topside and Shen had to play around that. Let me had to play with that condition under that condition, and same thing happened bottom. Sneaky had to play around that. Around the fact that Karsa was behind him, so basically Karsa splitting the map for Uzi, which can be really good for that team because you really want to snowball that lead, and you're seeing the CS leads in top and bottom for their respective teams, both teams playing to their side of the map on the split map, but still I don't like it. I think Cars is so far behind now because the one who lost was the most was RNG because Svenskeren got a lot of CS and now he's gonna recall. He's so much far ahead than Karsa, and with the free time, Karsa's just like they had this ping because of the tempo that Karsa had, and I'm pretty sure that's Karsa's ping. He doesn't have anything in the map to do, so the only thing he can do is like roam, look for ganks, get vision because he doesn't have camps to do. Now golems are there, he's gonna do them. They were probably already there actually. I didn't notice that they were up, but yeah, pretty much the same thing. He doesn't have much to do on the map. That's why he's warning deeply there. That thing that he left can be potentially good in the later stages of the game, but right now it's not offering much. Well, the value of knowing that the jungler could path there, that kind of thing, that could be good, but it's not the best thing, you know. Scuttle Crab spawning bot, that's really good for Karsa because with this he can kind of stabilize a bit and he can always get this just because of his bot lane winning the matchup bottom. So that's really good for him. Okay, that was a root from the Saya. I don't like, wasn't it? Like, yeah, just getting hit by Saya there's just a misplay. You don't have flash, you got into that position. Wave was pushing to RNG though, so it's really rough at that point because then you have to walk to them to fix the wave. So I can see that, but yeah, the root should never hit you like that. Well, maybe he used E already. And if he had E, then he kinda touched that, but he didn't. So RNG playing through ball, invading the grump again repeatedly. That's really good, so that Sven isn't able to just um get ahead of Karsa just like that because basically Karsa put his bot lane ahead in the early game and then he was behind in doing that because the wolves that he lost. Um, but in doing that, then his bottom lane invaded the ground with him. You know what I'm saying? Like they kind of help him stabilize, anyways. And he also got the crowd because he had the stronger bottom lane at that point. So what he did in the early game kind of sucked for him, but then he was kind of compensated for that by the fact that his bottom lane like helped him out. The fact that Licorice killed the Shen, let me hear in the 1v1 is really huge because now C9 at least has something going for them. But I just think that if you're behind in the bot side against RNG, then you're in a really rough spot because these are the things that they do the best, RNG, and yeah, really good 1v1 here. You know, workout is just too good right now. Playing Shen against that is kind of disrespectful. I don't think this is the best matchup for him, and they definitely know that. Snake is just getting demolished here by RNG. A lot of globals. They can keep doing this. Karsa has ulti now. So as long as like Kaisa should have just swapped there. Like Sneaky should have just looked for the swap there, or eventually because you know Shen will have level 6 also. So you don't want to match RNG. RNG's duel is already beating you in a swap. Shen is very useless compared to the. Well, Urgot's also useless or somewhat useless, but The Shen ulti doesn't provide much value in a swap situation where bottom lanes are just training turrets across the map. Sure, and also by swapping, even though there isn't a Herald top, then you get the vision top, and you eventually have some vision to play for Herald once you're matching lanes again, if that ever happens. Probably Cine didn't want to give the Inferno or something, but yeah, good play from C9 getting at least one more kill mid and some summoners. I don't know if they could have just gotten the Alistar too, but Alistar got out with 1 HP. That could be unlucky. And Sneaky going back bottom. That turret is 1 HP. That I hate to see this. Like, you should swap. You're already losing. They have a lot of globals. By swapping, you're not matching the RNG's duo, but you're also not walking into their globals because they want to use their globals bottom. The composition is yelling at you that at this point they're just dying and dying and dying. And like, look here. Another time where Uzi has his feathers in a position where it's just really good there. At that point, it's really hard for them to do anything. So because they are cornered by the feathers alone, so RNG gonna get soloables inside too. So that's a nail on the cuff thing. I think that they're just so much far ahead. Now they're gonna get Infernal, and if RNG goes top here because there aren't objectives bottom, they are also going to get objectives top. So if C9 matches top, there's no one who they can send against the RNG's duo. Even if they send Urgot, I think you're in a 1v2 situation, first of all. And the other thing is that Sai is way stronger than the Urgot right here, I think. I think AD carries have a really good power spike once they get that Stone Racer. And I think that if you're a 2v1 and also add up the globals, I think that Urgot has to play with the mindset of, well, yeah, I might be able to win, but then there's the Galio, there's the Talia, there's the Shen ulti, so there's so much stuff that RNG also has in top of the Saya that is fed, so that's the difference. If Licorice had a global, like if the rest of the team had something for Licorice to offer to him, it could be different, but it isn't, so that isn't the case. So the swap finally comes from C9, but C9 doesn't have anything to get bought. Only they can only get a turret, and I'm not sure if they can actually get a turret against Shen. They're so far behind as a duo. Like Shen is 2 levels over Sneaky, well 1 level now, and they definitely need help to take the turret. It's Ben was trying to defend top with Licorice. Now he's pathing bottom. I hope he helps out his bottom lane to get that turret, because if not, then RNG is just gonna get a turret. He decided to gank mid here from this angle. He flanked mid. He's gonna get this gank. I think that's fine too. Licorice coming in here, really good roam, because the thing is that you're in a 2v1 situation and you're not going to get access to most of the minion subs, so it's better for you to move around the map. Get some camps, invade the enemy jungle, or help your jungler out do his camps, or just roam mid, like roam and move around the map and try to get as much as you can, definitely. Ming pulling out the wave, trying to defend mid, Karsa doing the herald because that's what he has to do. Sven doesn't have anything to do because there's no Drake. So that's the advantage of the top side control of RNG, because they can always get the extra objective. Even if C9 gets bot turret, they will always trade turrets and get the herald in top of that. Now we see a red seal, that's something else that they also get. RNG's red isn't even on the map, so Sven couldn't get a red basically. And they aren't going to get that because after RNG leaves top, the red buff is going to spawn bottom. And since Kai'Sa is really weak, she didn't even get turret bot. So that's how bad things are for C9 right now. And I don't think that they win. Against RNG, you cannot give these kind of leads because RNG is the team that's just going to snowball out of control. Definitely one of the best teams here at this tournament. And yeah, it's really rough. RNG should get a lot of on the map now with Herald. Even if Licorice is 3-0, I think it will be really hard for C9 to combat this because RNG already has like the things going for them. Something that I learned recently is basically that if you use QSS when the not on the projectile of the Cyano Orgot ulti, but when the ulti is pulling you and you use the QSS, you get out of it. So that's something really cool. You can live through that, and really early QSS from Uzi also helps you out against the Rakan, the potential Evelyn charm, Also the Rice Room Prison, so pretty purchase or okay purchase a lot of magic damage in the mid jungle duo from C9 if you ever lane against them, because sometimes with the lane setups, with the 1-3-1s, with the 4-1s and stuff like this, you end up matching the enemy mid laners at times, or things like this happen as the AD carry in really complex situations where you want to have your global mid like Galio. Galio wants to be made to be able to ult top and bottom, but here this is not the case. They want Uzi mid so that he gets access to most of CS and then rotate to both lanes. Basically, even though he doesn't have a global, he has the ability to move between lanes, and it's pretty much the same thing as the Galio ulti. So there we saw a pick onto the enemy Rakanda first, I think, or someone died from Alistair and Talia there. Oh yeah, it was a Spencer. And so and now we see the play bottom from C9. They wanted to like go on Let Me, but then the rest of RNG collapsed. Liquid flashing in there, getting out, but losing cooldown still. So I'm losing the blue buff now. RNG just has full control over this game and the entire jungle of C9. So that's really rough for them. And the weak side for RNG, which is Xiaohu here, which is top the farthest away from their vision, their control, the rest of the team, is playing really safe. He was doing Gromp, I think, or he was just here inside his jungle waiting. And now he's pushing, now his team is mid, so now he can push. So playing really safe, not giving any openings to C9. So yeah, really rough game for C9 and really strong showing out of RNG. RNG playing really well the map, but to be fair, they also have a huge lead from the early game. So what would you expect from them? Now we see another Drake, snowballing those Drakes, like getting Drake after Drake on spawn is really good. We now see the all rotation to the bottom side of the map, sieging here. I would like to see from Galio to rotate mid here. Definitely not liking like it's of course you like your bottom lane was mid, then they rotate bottom. Your mid lane was top, then he rotates mid to cover for this wave that the bottom lane left. So basically, since Uzi is coming bottom, you have the Galio here because Galio is on the weak side here. He's against the enemy's bottom lane. He knows that. If he thinks he can defend against them, that's fine. But then by staying mid, you also defend a turret, right? And the mid, you don't want to give them mid turret damage. That's the most important thing here. But by defending top, you're not giving them any turrets. You're basically trading damage on the mid turret for not losing turrets at all on the map. So I think it's fine either way, but you definitely can. And also by being mid instead of top, defending mid instead of top, you have much more chances of using your ulti. Even though you cannot ult because of the range still, you have a much better chance at that if that ever comes up. Situations when that can come up is that C9 following RNG, exiting bottom, stuff like this, and then they come to you, and then Gali is close, stuff like that. And from not being close there, that could have cost RNG. But yeah, now we're seeing Sven Skering hovering for Licorice. That Let Me is playing really safe. He's giving the respect of the numbers advantage of C9 there. We see RNG's numbers advantage on this side. Here's where the QSM matters a lot because he's against Zazel and Jensen, so Uzi is not scared of the engage. He can always QSS that off, and the magic resistance is really good against those two members in particular. Here we see a TP trying to defend the C9's dive on the bottom lane on the bot side, so Let Me gets away. They just get the damage into it, so a really good reaction from Xiaohu, looking for that dive from C9 that was coming. And that was basically the only thing that C9 could do at that point because that's the only strong point on the map because Licorice is 3-0 and 20 CS ahead. So now that that didn't work for C9, they pretty much have to wait for RNG to make a huge mistake. So Cecil gets combo, and then Karsa follows up Thalia with electrocute, and one combo of that's just a lot of damage. This is the second time we see Mink comboing someone, and then Talia throwing all her spells and getting a one shot. And the reason why that is because the damage that Talia does with electrocute during her combo. So her combo deals a lot of damage with the rocks. If you get the W with the E interaction going, that's a lot of damage. Electrocute is also a lot of damage. So that interaction happened twice. Once here at River on Svensker, and now here on Rakan and Zazel. So combo, and it also basically Alistair Child is broken because it's a point and click, combo, and it deals a lot of damage. So to be fair, they're really far ahead here. So maybe in other games you do need the Ignite to finish the kill, or here they're actually using Ignite, or you kind of like don't kill them but you leave them 1 HP, or maybe against tankier members because here it wasn't Evelyn and Rakan, the ones who got one shot. So maybe it's not as broken, but in my opinion it's broken because it just basically by point and clicking with Alistair and getting that combo and then Talia following up with her combo, you even if you do not one shot someone, you force someone to recall or base on the map, and then you have numbers advantage. And those cooldowns aren't that important. It's not like, oh, Alistair doesn't have combo. It's not like Devour from Tamkinch nowadays. Um, and yeah, Talia doesn't have cooldowns. Like, let's go with her. It's not like that. And that's the good thing about that, duo of jungle support. Um, Yeah, cars are really going for those drakes on spawn. I like the fact that he's doing them by himself, not actually having more members here. Let RNG hold this position, defend their vision, stuff like this. This is what I was criticizing G2 in their last game that they played. G2 sent 5 to 1 Drake at some point of the game, so yeah. So that's currently looking for a flank, being really creative, trying to get into that position. That's the only way they can win a fight potentially. He got spotted by the RNG's pick. RNG has a good ping setup, so that's not going to work this time because now they are grouped. They have a lot of pings behind them, so they see Svenskeren whenever he's coming. So look at how respectful they're playing. Xiaohu, even though they are so far ahead, Xiaohu was charging the town as they were hitting the turret to prevent any engage from happening. So that's how much respect they're giving to the C9 lineup here. Um, yeah, here Zazel forces engage because that's the only thing that he can do at that point. That's the best engage that you're going to get from now on, and it looks really bad, of course, but if you do not fight, you just lose the game anyway, so it's much better to just fight there. Yeah, I think they just win the game here. Um, yeah, really strong showing from RNG, really good game. So now the last game is Genji against Vitality.